Oh, you wanted to know about my coffee mug?
Not this week.
Ah, well, it's too bad.
That was last week.
This week's coffee mug is brought to you by Turkey Merc. Thank you, Turkey Merc. Shameless plug for people and artists that I really enjoy.
Looks like we're live, so I'm going to be monitoring that. If anybody has any questions, I can see them live. We get there. Okay.
Oh, cool. You can see us, looking at us, looking at you, looking at us, looking at you.
So after we finished our live last week, we asked you guys if you had any questions that you'd like to talk about this week, and there were several. So we're going to go over those questions first, and then today's and this week's questions that have come in via text, phone call,
Carrier
pigeon, etc. So Charles King, he wrote in and wants to know, when should people start considering, should they be putting themselves in shove or fold mode when playing in a tournament?
He was specifically talking about turbo tournaments.
Turbo tournaments, like, were considered a turbo tournament.
Yeah, I mean,
the short blinds.
Yeah, the shorter blinds. Sure, it feels a little turbo-y at the second half of the game. First half of the game, you're starting with, you got 25,000 chips with blinds or 100, 200. If you're starting to think about wanting to shove then, you got some problems.
Yeah. Hi, Deb.
I don't know, where are your thoughts as far as what's your shove level?
So, a few things need to be considered. So, are you on the money bubble in a cash tournament? And you're trying to survive that? You need to consider what you have in your hand, whether you have one big blind left or 8. My shove mode is 5 to 8 big blinds. It's got to be ace or better, bucket pair. I usually don't do any shoving with like 4s or 7s. It's got to be a little bit higher, something that I can actually compete with. Any random hand. Big blinds seem to always wake up with something big, so you better have something where you're at least live or something. But yeah, and then also we should talk about the fact that when someone is the short stack at the table, we're nearing the bubble or we're at the money bubble, what are they going to shove with? They're going to shove with any ace and probably any pocket pair. So at that point, do you want to double them up and then continue to, wait for this money bubble to burst? So as far as the other side of it, calling that shove, consider what you might be doing there. A lot of people are just like, yeah, I'm just going to call anything, get this over with, but you might end up harming the situation too. But do what you want to do. But that's me. I'm 5 to 8. You should always be counting how many big blinds you have, by the way, not how many chips you have. Knowing how many big blinds you have knows how many orbits you can make.
Sure. I don't get nervous until I'm into about that 8 to 10 big blind range. I can play 10 big blinds until the cows come home.
Right.
It's it's no big deal. I enjoy watching people panic when they hit that 10 big blind because I can see it. You see it in their eyes. You see it in their play, and then you start attacking that.
Right.
Because if you know that they're not going to ship it with 5s and 6s, you can definitely start attacking their ranges.
And you should be.
And it's all about ranges for me.
Yeah.
So when should somebody do that? There's no rule. That's like saying, when should you fold pocket kings? There's no rule. Almost never fold pocket kings, but you will fold pocket kings when you're right. You're right. You have to make those calls. So anyhow, Charles, when should somebody ship it? It's a personal preference. You definitely need to make sure that you've got enough chips during your shove that you can effectively move people off of a good hand, but not a great hand. Yeah. So it's definitely, there's more art than skill to it. It's all dependent on the players you're with. If you're with a bunch of tight people, you can shove with lots of different cards. If you're there with super loose, aggressive folks, you got to expect that you're going to get called in 3 spots no matter what you shove with. So, thanks for the question. It's a good one. There's no real good answer to it. There's a lot of conversation starters, though.
It's very situational.
Yeah.
Based on your players. Also, do keep in mind on the other side of it, since we're talking about it, when you should be really abusing the short stack. They know they're just waiting for that money bubble to burst. Just raise their blind every single time. A la Mark Davies, cough cough.
Oh.
So I had a full week online on Poker Bros, and I'm playing. Mark Davies is always flipping on my right, either 1 to my right or 2 to my right. And he doesn't know this, but I was completely card dead to the 7 deuce, 8 deuce, no face card that I could even, consider calling with. But he was just abusing me. He was raising me every time, and I could not call. I mean, I could call.
It's the right thing to do.
I could call, but I had a snowball's chance. I wanted at least a chance. And so he just kept abusing me, and I looked very weak, and probably at some point when I started dwindling down, it was weak to not call when I look back on it now. But don't forget that when you're the big stack, that you should also be taking advantage of that player. So
Sure.
That's the other side of it. Hi, Kevin.
Anonymous person wanted to know what the Mad Poker rules are for saving seats.
Hot topic.
Hugely hot topic. The general rule is you don't save seats for people that aren't there. There's lots of there's
Dot.
yeah, lots of gray areas. That first one, let's just go back to why.
Where did it all start?
Yeah. So this all started more than 10 years ago. It started in another league. It wasn't even a Mad Poker thing. It was while we were directing for other people, and we had So we had situations where that's so and so's seat that started causing a problem every week. No, Joe Blow sits in that seat, and that's the only seat that Joe Blow sits in, and you know this, so you can't sit there. And
It's the Norm on Cheers, Norm always sat on the corner stool.
Right, and nobody could sit
at the
there.
end of the bar. Nobody could sit there.
Not fair.
No, not right.
So
that's what we were trying to avoid was you can't sit there because that's so-and-so seat. They always sit there.
right.
No.
Now there are times though where you've got people that must, for a physical reason, sit in a specific seat. Somebody who's got a vision problem, somebody who's got a bum leg, somebody who's got a broken right arm can't be sitting right here. They need to be on a corner so that and they can't even be on this corner. They have to be on that corner to give their chicken wing a spot to go. Shout out Don Potter.
We do it every quarterly. Every quarterly we make accommodations for people who can't sit high, they can't do the stairs, they need an end seat.
They have to have a
the
spot for their
door.
rolling Charlie, all the
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
So
We're happy to do it.
Yeah.
We're happy to do it because this is about
It's
a
a-
social.
yeah, it's a social construct. It's fun. We're supposed to be here with our friends, and our family.
Right.
So we had a situation just this past week where somebody wanted to reserve an entire table because they had Uncle Joe, Aunt Sis, Billy Bob, cousin, my dog was coming. It's a C&I dog, so that one couldn't play. But they wanted a whole table. So they went to the director and said, can we save this whole table? Director said, sure, we can do that. Now, there were people that saw it happen. They're like, hey, man.
That violated the rule.
Yeah, because you guys don't
There's
save
rules.
seats. Well, there's exceptions to the rules, folks. Let's just use our best judgment and don't be the person who comes in and I know that Susie always wants to sit here and Joe and Blow want to sit there and then go and lock up the 4 corners, which are the most
Sought after, coveted.
yeah. It's the high end real estate. It's the
It is.
Park Place and what's the other one? Boardwalk.
Boardwalk.
It's Boardwalk and Park Place. Those corners are very, very popular.
You have more space. You can eat there and put your drink down. It's way better.
Right, but don't go in there and start just saving them because they're going to be there.
Yeah.
So as a player, if I was to come in there and I saw that, are they really here? And you look around and you've asked, well, they're not here. I'm going to go to the director and say, I know that they want to reserve those seats, but they're not here. Can I just move them one spot over? I'd love to have the corner, be able to eat. And directors, please make that best judgment that you can. And we trust you guys. So listen to your directors, players. If they say, yeah, you're going to have to move that one, move that one.
Right.
Just don't abuse the policy, and everything should be good.
And sometimes things, just aren't black and white as they may seem. For instance, Jaden Ross will often text me and let me know that he's coming and to sit on my left because he helps me with my sign-out sheet and he helps me with my beverage because I have to keep it off the table to the left and he'll just be handing it to me as I'm dealing, and he's an asset. So I'm saving it for him, but I'm also saving it for me. So it might not just appear that way on the outside. It's like, oh, Jaden always sits there. Well, there's a reason. So just ask. And think about, why are you upset over it? Do you want to sit at that table? Because if you want to sit at that table, I'm certain that we can make that happen.
Yeah.
If it's just because it's a rule and what's going on, let's have a bigger conversation about that, because rules can be
manipulated
a little bit for
Mm-hmm.
situations. So there we go.
Rude players. Oh.
Deb Hart wrote in and asked, I'd like help with handling rude players.
So rudeness is not something that you want. I mean, everybody's going to have opinions, and everyone's going to have bad days. But being just outright rude and mean, that's not part of the thing. And in fact, if we looked at the first rule of Mad Poker, to be nice.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
when people are being rude, remind them what the first rule of Mad Poker is. It's to be nice. And if they're continuing to be rude to you as a player, definitely talk to the director, let them know about the situation, and based on how it's going, the director's going to make the best choice on whether it's to pull that player aside and remind them of the rules, or if it's going to be taking that player off of the table to another table, or escalating it further to Marianne and myself. And we can invite those players to take a break, to think about the rules, think about why they're playing and why they're being jerkballs. And maybe they just got a really bad day or a really bad week, and that's totally understandable. It's just.
And as a director, because Deb is a director and she asked us about how to handle them. First Defense always handled this with kid gloves and be kind about it and just ask them, send it down. And then if you see them being rude to the staff,
Oh yeah, don't be rude to the
that's a whole
staff.
other situation. You need to pull them aside and gently remind them that we are guests there and that their behavior affects this game. And we have lost, and we have been in danger of losing venues because of your behavior. So be kind to the staff, tip well if you're able, and just remember, just have fun. I mean, just simmer down.
Let's do it.
Right?
It's 2:58 right now. I wanted to remind folks, in 2 minutes at 3 o'clock, there is a 25 chip game over on Team Famous.
Big game.
Big, huge game.
It's
a freeze out. I'm registered in sitting out, so things about abusing your big blind, abuse me while I'm not online. I'll come and get you later.
So we'll be here for a little bit.
Eating at the table.
Sean Besso.
Sean Besso wanted to know what's the rules for eating at the table. I would say eat things with forks and knives and not your hands, because you're grabbing food and then you're going to grab my chips and the cards and you're going to get schmutz on it. So eat with a fork and knife, and don't eat it at the table, on the table. Get a side table or have it directly behind you, spin around, grab a couple of bites, and then come back in.
If you can.
That would be my.
If you're on a corner seat,
the high-end
much
corner
easier
seats,
to
those are
eat
good places
there.
to eat.
But there was a specific situation where there was some, it was maple syrup Maple
geez.
syrup was spilled onto a little bit of the table, and then it went on their hands, and then it went on every chip they touched and every card they touched, and it was a mess. And this person was very upset and ended up leaving because of it. So remember that your actions can cause reactions,
Yeah.
and they're always not favorable. So let's just think about that a little bit.
And then the last question from last week that we didn't get was the difference between strategic raising and what they wanted to call as donkey calling. So anybody can play any two cards any way they like. Absolutely. If you're going to raise with a less than premium hand, good for you.
Yeah.
Because you're doing that for a reason. You're doing that to represent strength. You're doing that to steal some blinds. That's awesome. That's cool. Calling with a really bad hand, if I've got a great hand, I want you to call with a bad hand absolutely every time. And I want you to win just a little bit. Enough that you make those calls again consistently so that I can get your chips. But I mean, is there a quote unquote donkey call? I hate the phrasing.
We don't use that. I hate it.
Yeah, it's taking
It's rude.
Yeah, it is rude. It is rude. It's part of the not. But the question was, what's the difference between a strategic raise and strategic play and poor play?
And it always cracks me up when I hear people at the table after a hand goes out and someone has raised with the say 7-2, because that's everybody's favorite hand. And then, can you believe that he called that? And I have to remind them every time, they didn't call, they raised, it was a move, and it worked. And that's playing poker versus playing cards.
And that's why Chris Jelnick runs his 7-deuce game, is to encourage people to play outside of a comfort level. You don't always have to have premium hands to win. You can win with garbage, and I think that that's part of what that 7-deuce game is all about.
Exactly. Play it like they're aces. It doesn't matter what it is. 8-4, 7-deuce, doesn't matter.
So
you shouldn't ever criticize somebody for making a play like that. It's actually next level. So you should aspire to be comfortable enough to make that kind of move and win with it.
now, thinking about that, I've done the 7-deuce call or the 8-3 or 9-4 call.
Me too.
It's called floating, and I'm floating the flop. I am playing a player or a couple of players, and knowing that if they raise, I can put them on a specific range of hands. Okay, and then the board comes out and it misses that range. That person, in most cases, is going to make their C bet, and their continuation bet. But I know on that board that they've absolutely whiffed it. So complete airball for them. So by floating the flop, they place that C bet. I'm now going to place the raise with a hand that's horrible, that probably missed the board. But I'm playing the play of the player. So what's the difference between it? It's intent.
And don't forget, don't forget about my favorite one is when you limped in with your 7-deuce or whatever, or maybe you're the big blind, hasn't even come to you yet, and you get all these callers and somebody makes that raise and everybody's calling around. Now you have pot value. If it's just like one more blind to plop in there, I'm doing it every time because
one to win,
I have value out there.
Yeah, there's 9 bets for the one that you're getting. Sure.
Right. So I mean, talking about doing the math in poker is a whole nother discussion, and it's hours. You should study that.
Yeah.
Some people are math people, like only math people. Some people are gut and math. Some people are gut only. Play the way ever you want to play. We're not professionals here, but we have some pretty good insight. So do your math. You do your math and do your homework.
There you go.
And find the style that you like best, because it'll work eventually.
All right. Off to the new questions.
New questions. Oh, this is a good one.
So DeAndre wanted to talk about dirty stacks and hiding big chips. So WSOP rule is that all of your high-value chips must remain fully visible to the table, either by placing them on top of your stack or by placing them in front of your stack. So your highest values would have to be closest to the center of the table, and if you're draw it as a straight line back, which you wouldn't want to do, you want to spread them out, but if you were going to try and draw them as a straight line back, you've got your 50,000 chips, behind that are your 10,000 chips, behind that are your 5s, behind that are your 1s. But if you're doing that all in a straight line, now you're hiding chips. So you need to...
Maybe not intentionally.
Not intentionally, and the dealer may ask you, hey, can you move those around so that the entire table can see your values?
A dirty stack is when you don't have your values, your like values together. And so you have like your whites and your reds and your blues are all mixed up. Why is it bad? Why can't I just stack them the way I want to? Well, it helps people to be able to look across the table and get a general idea of how much you have so that they can make their bet based off of what you may be willing to risk or lose in that hand. So
Right.
You should have that there. It's also best for the dealer because the dealer, I mean, even more so, the dealer needs to know how much you have. Dealers who've been around for a long time, we can look and usually be within like 100 or 1,000 range, depending on how many chips are there, just by looking over at your stack. So please, when you can. Also, if anybody's still using those antiquated boards that fold out and they have the cup holder, the worst place you can put your chips are inside of that.
Yeah.
Oh, the stories I have about people. Anyway, shoving all in, and I call, and they're like, but I've got all these in here too.
And they were hiding
I
inside of
never
the
would have
cup.
called if I knew that. So anyway, don't do that, because that's yucky. This is a very interesting question from Katie Abshire, which it got us thinking, because we hadn't considered it before. And she said, what's phone etiquette at the table? That's simple. But playing with meta glasses or AI glasses? Take it away.
So we'll go with the easy part, phone etiquette. So first part of phone etiquette is if you're having a live broadcast, you make sure that your cat doesn't just decide to join, because that's on the phone. Fred, come on. All right, well, she's going to be in the shot for a while.
So my phone rings, and I'm in the big
All right,
blind.
so your phone rings. Phone rings, you've got a choice.
Yep.
You can either be on a phone call, or you can be in a hand. You can't be both.
Right.
So
Don't be that guy that picks up his phone and starts talking to his mother-in-law about the grocery list for this week.
right.
We've had it happen. It's just crazy. If you're in a casino or card room, you can't even pick up that call. You have to stand up, move away from the table, take the call, etc. So we want you kind of to think in those terms.
Yeah.
Right? If you know that that call is a quick call and they're just saying, I'm outside to pick you up, and you're just like, okay, and you hang up, that's a kind of a different story.
Yeah.
A conversation is something we don't want you having at the table.
Exactly.
But it also should be, phone etiquette involves texting and like online
Yeah.
play or
I mean,
scrolling.
yeah. I mean, can you scroll and play? Sure.
Yeah.
I've been. You guys have seen me. I've played on Team Famous while playing in a Mad Poker tournament.
Yeah.
And you have to be respectful of the table. Don't be holding up play. Don't be slowing down play because of your paying attention on the phone and you're scrolling. Things you can't do on your phone. You can't be using real-time solvers on your phone. You can't be using hand charts on your phone while you're playing.
Do you want to research GTO strategy?
Sure,
That's
but
fine.
don't do it
Not
while
in your hand.
and not at the table. You know,
Yeah.
take your time. Do your homework outside of the time when you're doing your work.
But we do encourage people to practice that, because figuring out those solvers and when you're supposed to raise with certain hands, etc., that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And if you want to put it into play while you're playing, you know, maybe just say, I'm going to be trying to do this, I'm going to be practicing or whatever, so people understand what's going on here. If you're
Yeah, but
just
don't use them while
glancing
you're-
down-
yeah.
if you're just glancing down during, you know, while we're playing or whatever and trying to figure out what you would have done, that's fine.
And then hot topic as far as these meta glasses go. There's been
Yeah.
a lot of conversations online about meta glasses. If you're unfamiliar with meta glasses, they're glasses that have got a somehow their computer screen shows up on the glasses. You can't see that I can see a computer screen through my glasses. There are these cool rings that you can use as scrolly devices so that you're
wild.
completely online while you're here. And they record everything. So, to my knowledge and to the internet's current knowledge, there are no real-time solver applications that are currently built for your Meta glasses. I could see a time in the future where there's an app that you can look at your hand, you can look at the board, and get real-time solver advice as to should you raise, should you fold based on your position. So, doesn't exist now as far as a Mad Poker policy or procedure. If you're going to wear Meta glasses and you're going to be recording because you want to be a streamer, everybody wants to stream, cool.
That's fine.
That's cool. Let the table know, folks, by the way, I'm wearing recording glasses and I'll be recording everything that's going on at the table for my personal use or for my blog or whatever the heck it is.
And if you don't want your face on there, just ask them to blur it out when
Yeah.
you publish it.
So, hope that answers your question,
That's
Katie.
right. Yeah.
Dr.
Oh.
Kim.
Yeah, so Dr. Kim brought up something we had talked about last week, but we can quickly just talk about reacting to the board. You fold that 7 deuce and the flop is 7 deuce deuce and you go, or, I can't believe I folded that. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
It happened today on Poker Bros. Jack 4-4 Felder Pace makes some type of emoticon about, like throwing up or something, and everybody knew he folded a 4 or a jack and a 4 or pocket jacks or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody knew. So, yeah.
Don't do it, folks.
Don't do it. Knock it off.
Not
I know
cool.
it's hard, but try not to. Or after, feel free to say what you folded.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear about it.
She hates it when I tell her what I folded. Absolutely hates it. John Foote wanted to get some thoughts and ideas from the world. As you know, John runs the game over at Joe's on Saturday night at 7 o'clock in Milwaukee. Great venue. They've been with us, then not with us, and then back with us, and not with us. So they're with us again. And the food's great. The staff's amazing. And the first few times that we played, they had some problems with their jukebox and had the volume way too loud for anybody to be able to have any sort of communications at the poker table. They've since dropped that volume tremendously. So
the owners are enthusiastic about us being
Yeah.
there. They want us to be there. They are trying everything to get you guys to come back. We've been posting about it. I don't know how many people see it, but we posted every week about the music's turned down, and they're thinking, they're trying to work with us to make this happen.
right.
So very rare to have a venue partner that is that communicative.
And gung-ho for us.
Yeah.
So
they
please,
want you back.
if you've got some thoughts and ideas, fire them on over to John, fire them on over to us, and we'll do everything we can to implement those so that that game can become what it used to be. It used to be a 4 or 5 table game.
Right.
So we'd love to have that back going that strong.
So we're shouting at you, specifically Vogies players, Gladstone's players, Midway players. Come on down at 7 o'clock and come see. And if you played a game before, you get the Traveler chips. You get an automatic
Sure.
chip up.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you there.
JJ Moss wanted to talk about playing hands in the dark. So he had mentioned that there are times during the Omaha game over at Lariat or at the Hold'em games where he'll be in the under the gun
First act.
or first act, and we'll just call him the dark, which is kind of cool. I enjoy doing things like that.
You're injecting fun into your own game.
I do put the FU in fun.
However,
There are people that absolutely hate that.
why do they hate it though? It's because they take the game very seriously and they see this as being foolish.
Foolish and disrespectful.
Disrespectful to the game.
But I don't think it's foolish and disrespectful. I think it's just having fun with it.
Yeah.
And and anybody can play the hand any way they want. Don't criticize folks if you're one of those people. If you want to just be nice. Back to the first rule. Be nice.
Well, but they were also calling him like a jackass and an asshole, that's... a POS, and that is like well outside of what's okay with us.
Yeah, don't do that.
I can certainly see someone say, "Why do you do that? Like, what are you doing?"
Right.
And then maybe he could explain why he's doing it. I want to have more fun, and this is one way for me to have more fun.
Or I need to get better at playing in different, harder positions, putting myself into a position of oh shoot, I just did something bad. Now what do I do? How do I recover?
Yeah. Yeah. Tracy Krasnov, Storm, she wants to know, after the action's ended, who has to show their cards first. Super easy. Not everybody always remembers.
Go
ahead.
Don't look at me. I've been
I
talking
know,
all
you're
day.
always crazy. So yeah, so if I'm the last to act and we've checked around, it goes to the first person who acted that needs to show their cards, and then so on.
So it's whoever the last aggressor was is the first person that has to show.
Yeah, and if you're the last person and say you know you've got the nuts, don't show it. Wait. That's information that you either paid for or you checked for, but you paid for when you came into the pot to begin with. So make them show so you can see how they're playing certain cards, what type of player they may be, especially if they're new, you can learn something about them. Good Lord, don't show it early. We also had a situation on Tuesday at the M&M where there was a gentleman that was all in and then two other players, and the hand was over, and he, because there was side action, he wasn't face up. So he goes, well, I lose, and he puts them in the muck, and I said, oh, you have to turn those over. And he fought with me on it, and we just let it go. But I turned the cards over, but I wasn't going to argue with him any further over it. But he didn't understand that. He walked away thinking that something, unfair happened to him, but it was all fair, and it was unfortunate.
Yeah.
So
it's back
the
to
more we do it all the time, the more people see that that's just how it's supposed to be, and then they aren't worried about that they were cheated.
And that just flows into last week's conversation on Davis Rain having the problem with tabling cards. So it's it's the reason for it. You're all in, flip them up. Period. End of discussion.
Yep.
Dates. Let's do this in no particular order other than chronological.
Okay.
So June 1st
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. That's the beginning of the Big Brag. For those that don't know what the Big Brag is, have you been living under a rock? We've been doing this now for 3 quarters.
We have.
So, bye! The Big Brag. So the Big Brag is where you are... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Big Brag tournament. So you are trying to accumulate the most points in this last quarter, in this last month of the quarter, at specific venues. So the top 1 player, or top 2 players in this case, top 2 players from each venue for the month of June will qualify for the Big Brag. The Big Brag tournament is going to happen on July 18-ish. Mm-hmm. That's not set in stone yet. We're still going through final arrangements. Player wins a silver coin, wins their name on the trophy, gets the Big Brag t-shirt, and all the accolades. So that's happening this month in June. Further on, July 11th is the quarterly. So that means you've got 1 month left to qualify. That's top 200 in points for the last 3 months of the season, not counting any of the digital games. Following that, July 25th, what is this for? Oh, the main event. So the main event, we are looking at dates. We do not have a firm date yet. but we're looking at 3 weekends. We're looking at Saturday, July 25th, Saturday, August 1st, and Saturday, August 8th. Working with the Moose on that, on what dates work best for them. Should have information for that soon. And I think, last thing, next week is not next week, 2 weeks from now, next week. Everybody leaves to go to Vegas for the WSOP next weekend, which means there are some directors that aren't going to be there to run their games. Luckily, we've got enough directors and volunteer helpers to be able to cover all of those games with the exception of Pips. So Pips is the only game that's going to not be going on next week, and everybody's encouraged to go on over to the aforementioned Joe's and go. It's all connected. It's interweaved. Go on over to Joe's, you Pips players, this coming Saturday.
And we do ask you for your patience while we are away, because I try to actually take a vacation when I'm on vacation, but I'll be bringing my computer, but I don't know what I'm going to be doing stats, if it's going to be at 2 o'clock in the morning or first thing in the morning, or not until I get back the following Friday. So please be patient with me. It's a lot of work.
I'm going to hide your laptop.
I know the code to get it.
Damn it.
I do want to quick interrupt here, because there are some people who are coming in with questions and comments.
Don't be firing at us.
First one is Kevin Eads. Kevin Eads is a player that we had out in Canby, and with his wife Nancy, and she was our director for a while. He says he misses his family of poker players, and I just want to mention that we've been approached by Jarbo's, which was formerly the Spinning Wheel, formerly Wranglers, formerly Double Lot, formerly
Route 99.
Anyway, the owners of Joe's have purchased Jarbo's and want us to consider coming out there. We could do that. We would love to do that, but we need players. So Kevin, if you know people who would support that game, please let us know that you think that a game could be viable, because you have like 16 people to start or something like that. And we'd be looking for a director as well. Please. DeAndre says, he had to make a rule that there's no drinks on the table. That's great. CJ D. Tucker says, please remind players to wash their hands. Oh my gosh.
We've done that one before, but let's just do it again. Wash your filthy paws.
Clint Bob thinks is awesome. CJ does want to say that meta glasses are good for recording hands and playing them back for your personal study later.
Absolutely.
Which
But
is
again,
great.
make sure that you let the table know that you're wearing the meta glasses, because you don't want to come across as being some creeper guy that's just recording all the people.
DeAndre is cracking me up. I'm so sorry. So he says, LMFAO, please don't call me names if I play in the dark. Better than you play in the light. LOL.
Nice.
Charles King says, play in the dark, who cares? Maybe they're trying to learn to read people. I used to sometimes play without looking at my cards.
This guy gets it.
Agree.
That's the whole Annette Oberstad thing.
Yeah. Look her up.
If you don't
She's
know
a
what I just
phenom.
said, yeah, check it
She's
out.
still a phenom. The comment has washed away, so I apologize if I'm missing comments, but Facebook only lets me see so many.
That, and we're running out of time.
But Dre said he wants us to talk about a misdeal, or having to make a card, the burn card, because it was shown or it flew off the table. Very important as a dealer. If that card goes off the table and someone goes, it's face down, it's good, that's a misdeal. Start over. I know it's a pain in the butt, but
It doesn't have to be a misdeal. I mean, it could be a that's.
or just they get a new card or
yeah,
whatever.
they get a new card.
Yeah, but making the shown card a burn card, I think everybody pretty much knows
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah,
Don't
pretty
you?
much.
If you don't know, let us know in the
Oh,
comments
you
section.
didn't know?
So if a card accidentally flips up and then that person is dealt a second card, what would have been the burn card, so now that up card is the burn card. So I always put it on top of the deck and wait for the deal, and then
Face up.
here's the burn, flip it over,
Yeah.
and then deal the handout. How do you do it?
Pretty similar.
Okay,
You know.
so it's pretty
Hey
universal.
everybody, it's this card, blah 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 blah. It's going on here. It's going to be your burn. All right, here it is. Now you turn it face down because you don't. I tried at one time keep it face up, and then there was 4 up cards on the board, and that's. So yeah, show it, put it down, get rid of it, continue on.
Smack it.
Flip it and rub it down.
Yeah. So when we're in Vegas, do you guys want to see like live videos coming up on Mad Poker? Would you rather have us keep that to our personal pages? Do you want a bunch of photos as they're taken? Do you want to wait and have an album made and then we, put in an album on the page to review later? Let me know, because we can do a combination of both or whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll be doing a group photo and we can't wait to share that.
And we do have, that's Monday, I think?
Sunday.
Sunday
at 9.
Yeah. So last thing as far as dates go, DeAndre did want you to know that he will be, your STD will be spreading a new game in September. And as most STDs, you should have at least 2 friends involved in this next tournament.
2 friends, 1 cup?
2.
If you know, you know. And the fun thing is he doesn't know. So that's why it's even funnier.
Don't ever tell me.
So start thinking about getting a team of 3. Triples.
Am I turning red?
Yeah, you're wild. Anyway,
Right.
you want 3 people on your team.
3 people team.
Yep.
Happening in September. More information to come.
Right.
And
That's going to be fun.
I think that's all the news that's fit to print.
That's all the news is fit to print. Please, if you have more comments, questions, suggestions, put them in the comment section. I will read them later, and then we'll add them to maybe next week's live. I don't know if we'll go live next week. Maybe at the airport while we're waiting for the plane.
Yeah, that could be trippy.
Morning. Yeah, trippy. Because there'll be a bunch of us
On the
waiting for that
trip.
plane together. So wish us well, root us on from afar, and we'll keep you updated on that. This is our favorite time of year. We love bringing the players along.
29 players going this year. 29!
I thought it was 32.
32!
There's 32 players this year.
So
anyway.
Anyhow, thanks again, folks. And if you're on the Team Famous game right now, I'm coming to get you.
And this is going to its home this week. We'll see you on Tuesday, Annie.
Bye!